I believe it was that super business leader, Michael Scott of The Office, who once said,
"Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not. I like to be liked. I enjoy being liked. I have to be liked. But it's not like this compulsive need to be liked, like my need to be praised."
Charm, likability, charisma, whatever you want to call it. Having people like you can change your world. There's universal agreement that's backed by science that being more likable will make you more successful in business and in life. So today I'm breaking down the 5 best ways for you to make yourself super likable. You know, there's an old saying, all things being equal, people prefer to do business with people that they like. All things being not so equal, people still want to do business with people they like. You've seen that yourself. That person who just seems to go out of their way to annoy you, to criticize everything, to talk about themselves all the time. It's frustrating. That's why people naturally gravitate toward likable people. We want to work with them. We want to have relationships with them. We want to be around them. And that brings up a question I get all the time from clients and friends. Are people just born likable? Or is it possible to become more likable? Can you take actions to make yourself more likable? The answer is yes and yes. Some people have a natural, innate likability, but it's also possible to behave in a way that will make you even more likable to other people. Yes, you can become charming. You can develop charisma. In Dale Carnegie's classic book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, he devotes a whole section to how to make people like you. So here are 5 practical tips, mixing advice from me and Dale Carnegie to make yourself super likable. Develop your likability. Likability is not something that just happens. It's a trait that can be learned and developed. It's about improving your dynamics with other people and how you relate to them. You don't have to be handsome, beautiful, or incredibly smart to be likable. Those are potentially really strong characteristics. But we all know beautiful people who are arrogant, mean, or worse. The most important character traits focus on how we interact with other people. In one scientific study, researchers at UCLA asked people to rate over 500 different adjectives related to likability. The highest rated adjectives weren't innate characteristics such as outgoing, intelligent, or attractive. Instead, the top adjectives were sincerity, transparency, and the capacity for empathy. All traits that can be learned and developed. But you have to adopt a mindset to change your behavior and how you relate to other people at work and at home. Show sincere interest in other people. It's human nature for us to want to talk about ourselves. Some people think that the secret to winning friends is to make themselves more interesting to others. But that's not Dale Carnegie's path to making friends. He says we need to show more interest in other people than in ourselves. Carnegie writes, "You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you." There are small but powerful ways to show people you are genuinely interested in them and that you care. It could be as simple as remembering and repeating somebody's name. Finding and exploring a true connection by asking about their family, their hobbies, or their special interests. People are always happy to talk about themselves. Of course, you must be sincere in the attention you're paying to that person. People will sniff out and hate fake interest every time. My first job out of college decades ago was in marketing with Procter & Gamble, which was notorious for having the most interviews of any company. Through 12 long interviews, I survived and prospered by asking the interview personal interest questions and building connections and rapport. I'm fascinated by people's stories, and the interviewers ended up talking at least half the time, which took a lot of pressure off of me and started our relationships. Show appreciation. Carnegie's central idea is that we can influence others with the simple act of showing respect and appreciation. It's a universal longing for human beings. We all want to be appreciated, encouraged, heard, and understood. Carnegie says appreciation is one of the most neglected virtues of our daily existence. Since we focus on ourselves, we often forget to encourage and compliment our coworkers, our children, our partners, or others who we might meet daily on these journeys of ours. Carnegie tells the story of a boy named Stevie Morris. He lived in Detroit. One day a teacher asked him, could he help her find a mouse that had been lost in the classroom? The teacher appreciated Stevie's strong sense of hearing since he was blind. It was the first time in this young man's life that someone had shown him appreciation for a talent that he had. Nowadays, he says, this act of appreciation was the beginning of a new life for me. The boy kept developing his keen sense of hearing, and he went on to become one of the world's most famous and accomplished musicians, Stevie Wonder. Carnegie urges us not to use false flattery, but to observe the talents and attributes of others and bring them to light with an honest compliment. As a constant traveler myself, I can't tell you how many upgrades in flights, hotels, and other services I've had by simply observing and giving honest compliments to people who suffer negative feedback all day long. Learn to pay attention. With our attention today so sapped by phones, social media apps, and information overload, I believe that giving people real, undivided attention is the ultimate gift. Some research has found that what we think of charisma is really just hyper-focused attention. Check this out for yourself. Next time you're in person with someone who seems to have this kind of amazing charisma, you'll probably notice that they're completely focused on you. These are the kinds of people who are not looking over your shoulder at somebody else. They make you feel like you're the only person in the world at that moment. And how can you not like someone who gives you their undivided attention? Be a great listener. While you're giving someone your undivided attention, don't just sit there. Listen. Really listen. People want to feel like they're actually being heard and understood. It is very rare to find a person who will devote themselves to completely being present in that moment. Whether it's listening with great attention to a client or a partner or a child, good listening goes a long way in improving your likability. Now, I know there are leaders who say they don't want to be liked. They see it as some sort of sign of weakness. They want to be respected or feared even. It turns out you can be respected and liked. In fact, in terms of motivating people, being liked and approachable produces better, longer lasting results than being feared. Being likable doesn't mean you're a doormat. It means that you fully engage, listen, and show your interest in people. As I teach my clients, I urge you to think about one skill or behavior you can develop to become more likable. Try putting this one behavior into practice for the next 30 days and watch what results you get. Who knows, maybe even you can become more likable. And speaking of likable, if you like this video, please consider subscribing to this channel. That way I'll see you back here next time. And if you want to learn to become a great listener, check out this video on how to listen like Oprah.